Hello and welcome to round 2 of the 1996 Euro Cup. It's at Bernay in Normandy, which is about 150 kilometers west of Paris. It's well known as a centre for the antique trade, and many a good bargain has been found in the numerous small shops around the centre of town. It's also a market town. Every Saturday morning, people from the surrounding area come in to do their shopping. Fruit and vegetables of every kind is available, and the fruits of the fishermen's labours is also there for everyone to see, fresh from the quayside. Although here's one salmon that got away and will not end up on the table. Over 20 of these fish are swimming around the several acres of gardens that have been landscaped over the past 11 years by François Deduy, the proprietor of this fine hostelry, who is himself a keen fly fisherman. Since François took over, he and his wife Edwy have made this elegant restaurant a centre for fine French cuisine. This is François himself supervising the activities in the kitchen, which, needless to say, enhances the French reputation for good cooking and very gracious living at prices that certainly won't break the bank. This is a different type of cooking. It's at the pulling stadium. And here's one funky, or should that be punky, French mascot of a chicken in the red, white and blue of France. And as he exits left, hoping the drivers aren't hungry, I can tell those of you that are new to the sport that the aim is to pull this sledge as far down the 100-metre track as possible. The weight box at the back moves progressively to the front, making it harder to pull, and those that pull the 100 metres qualify for a pull-off final. The winner is the one that pulls the furthest, and that's what Snoopy would like to be in this first class we're going to see. The 3.4-ton modified as a warm-up to the 3 Euro Cup classes later in the programme. This is a V12 1500 horsepower Continental engine that 54-year-old Michel Rezencourt got from a patent tank. You may remember Kevin Whittingham from the north of England had a double griffin called Snoopy. Well, he sold that to the Launay brothers in France, and it's now called Ouragan 2. Kevin is busy building a new modified, which will also probably be called Snoopy. 67.68 the distance for Snoopy. 8 national flags, 7 countries are taking part, with the representative from Norway missing out today. 13 to pull in this class, 4 from France, 3 from Great Britain, 2 from Belgium, and 1 each from Holland, Denmark and Sweden. Another French competitor revving up. It's Michel Touard with Le Rebel. It was called Miak last year. Oh, but his 3-stage air filter becomes a no-stage modification, and as it launches high in the air, Le Rebel stops dead in its tracks. See it again in slow motion, blowing apart like a Roman candle. The crowd here love fireworks. There's a big display at the end of this evening's programme. And the distance for Le Rebel, 68.63 metres. Now from France. This is Obelix with Frédéric Huey. 14-cylinder Hercules star motor. Going well. And Obelix runs to just over 90 metres. 92.87 for the mechanic from Bach. Local firemen are ready for any emergency as we move on to the junior green fighter team from Germany. Green Monster with 16-year-old Dirk Wessel behind the wheel. Dirk is a student, and this tractor's built by 16 to 21-year-olds. And the Monster makes it to the 90-metre mark, powered by a 2,500 horsepower Allison. 90.34 for the young man from Fuchtorf near Münster. They always get a good crowd here at Bernay for the Euro Cup, even though it's a little cold with the threat of showers. Hello dear, give us a wave. It was over 30 degrees yesterday, so everyone hoping this cold front quickly moves off east as we quickly move on to a new tractor from England called John Bull. This is only the 3rd event for the owner-driver Chris George's new machine, although he's very experienced, started pulling in '79. He's a previous British 2.4-ton champion with Avon Lady. Avon because he comes from Bristol on the River Avon. 2 Rolls-Royce Gnome turbines from Westland Wessex helicopters giving him his power. Our camera's on the 100-metre mark. So John Bull also makes the nervous 90s. 92.53 for John Bull. Chris takes his helmet off and says, whoa, it's hot in there. But he seems happy enough with the pull. Still, of course, just testing the machine. And I hope that's not our funky French chicken there. This session scheduled to finish around midnight, but I remember last year it was after 1 o'clock. So it's important to grab something to eat when you can. Next to try and break the 100-metre mark is Kees Doornenbos from Holland. And he's got 4 Rolls-Royce Gnomes, not 2 like John Bull. He introduced Thunderbird last year. Certainly impressive looking machine. And when he starts to roll, everything seems to shake, including the ground. Look at him go. And Thunderbird powers to a full pull. A fine run that from Kees, who comes from near Groningen up there in the north of Holland. So a full pull to Thunderbird, who joins 7 others in the pull-off. 2 from Belgium, 2 from Great Britain, and 1 each from Denmark, Holland and France. So a very international lineup for the final. And first into the arena is Fox from Denmark. The track doesn't seem to suit their machine. They bounced around all over the place last year and they had the same problem in qualifying. Let's see what happens now. Always not happy out there. He eases off a bit, loses momentum, and that's it for Peter Larsen. 64.76, disappointing run that from the Dane. And the young lad there in the red and blue jacket is the son of Dave Prince, the next competitor, who's from England. Comes from Cheddar in Somerset, where the famous cheese originated. And his tractor's called Just Another Invader. How did he get its title? Well, Dave told me he started in '84 with Euro Invader. Then 4 years later, he introduced the first twin Allison in Europe, called Atlantic Invader. And then in 1990, he brought this one from Canada, from Art Helm, where it was called Just Another Tractor, and he renamed it Just Another Invader. Dave's a good friend of the American Wayne Longnecker, who's known as Mr. Allison in the States, and they're both experimenting with blowers and turbos on their Allisons and exchanging information. So that's what all the extra engineering is on his machine. And for an experimental run, this was very good indeed. The turbos and blowers have done their job. He's beaten Fox by over 20 meters at least. Yes, 85.49, so Just Another Invader takes the lead, and Dave Prince has everything to smile about. Now this is Terminator, and Peter DeWitt explains what's happening.
What they are doing is with a small turbine engine, they blow air in another engine, just one, to start it up. The engine goes to the air goes to the one engine of the tractor and start it rotating. And when it is at a certain RPM, they put the fire in it and then it starts up. And then they do the other one, same way.
Thank you, Peter. Well, the turbines are working well, as you can see from the flags. The updraft from the 2 Russian Isotov TW3 turbines is quite considerable. Stef de Hoof is driving today. He's taken over from Rudy Paulus, who was in charge last time out in Hasmore. And Terminator terminates behind Invader. But 79 meters exactly gives him second place with 5 more to pull. And that's okay for Stef de Hoof from Belgium, where the next tractor also comes from. It's Baby Duck and Andre Whiteack from Antwerp, who's been pulling for 9 years and has been the Belgium 2.4-ton champion since 1989. He uses 2 Rolls-Royce Rover V12 engines from a Centurion tank, which can give him 3,600 horsepower. Oh, but there's a lot of smoke and steam coming from the duck, which dies well down the track. Let's see that again from our other camera. It is very rare to see Baby Duck with technical problems, but these would appear to be big ones. 71.72 for the Belgium. And whatever broke, something broke off, and that usually means an expensive repair bill. That's where they read the distance that each tractor has pulled. They measure from a fixed point on the sledge. Well, there's just 3 more to pull. Thunderbird will not be coming out for the pull-off. Must be technical problem there. So Super Special from Sweden has 85.49 to beat and take the lead. Stellan Bartholdsson sitting behind 3 Keith Black engines which come from America. They're normally used in drag racing, but he is well short of 90 meters. It's 83.66 for Super Special, which moves the Swede into second place. And nothing will make the crowd happier than a French win tonight. And here's the tractor that could give it to them. Synergy. That's Philippe Chauvin, who's from Plainville, which is close to Bernay. His brother Daniel is directing and helping tonight as mechanic, and he normally drives the 2.4 ton class. Quite a noise from his 4 turbo mecha turbines, which are normally used to power the French Super Freelon transport helicopter. So Philippe is almost ready. Still in the lead is just another Invader with 85.49 meters. Now, can the French 3.4 ton champion better that? Oh, one of the announcers, Carol Ebert, is willing him on, but flames from the top right turbine make him shut down. And although he's the best of the French contingent, he's out of the top 3, no question of that. 78.18 from Synergy and Philippe Chauvin. Now the last to pull in this class, and undoubtedly the favourite. European champion Brian Armistead and Desperate Dan. He made a full pull look easy in his qualifying run. He's got 4 Chevy 527s. Brian wipes his visor and says, "Let's do it." He's got new double cut tyres from America and little field blowers on all the engines. Oh, and he steams past the 100 metre mark. A second full pull to the man from Out Rawcliffe near Blackpool. That's former flagman Mick Holland waving the Union flag and making sure not to spill any of his precious Boddington's ale. So, full pull to Desperate Dan as we look at the official result. Time for a break now. We'll be back with the 3.4 ton Super Stocks in Euro Cup action after this. Welcome back to Bernay in France for the first of the 3 Euro Cup classes, the 3.4 ton Super Stocks. The light rapidly fading, but the floodlighting will make for some quite dramatic pictures. There are tractors from 5 nations taking part in this event, and this is Delta Power, named after the Valmet gearbox. Pekka Hurlevy hoping to improve on last time, where he finished second, but he starts to hop and bop around. Oh, and gets a real rough ride, and his front ends up in different directions. Let's see it again from our other camera. Up in the air, crashing down, and just like Bambi on ice, doing the splits. So not a start Pekka Hurlevy could have wanted. And his mechanic, Jyrki Mekapataya, comes around and says, "Oh no!" He won't be able to fix that in a hurry. 70.51 for Delta Power, and she doesn't know whether to laugh or cry. See, that's Pekka up in the cab himself, driving Delta Power back to the pits with the invisible man doing the steering. Now from Holland, it's Deer Hunter with Karel Vermeeren. He's sitting in for Wim Jansen, who's busy back home in Holland. Only the second drive this year for Karel, so it'll be interesting to see how he does. Oh, wrestling with the steering wheel, but he keeps going. He looks across and he sees he's over the 100 meters, and that is a fine full pull for the 32-year-old from Breda. He had 1 ride last year, 2 the year before that, so he's a useful substitute to be able to call upon if necessary. Now from Holland, the reigning Eurocup champion, Magkal Bits and Pieces with Leonard Griffian. He's a snap-on tool salesman from Warder near Utrecht. And at maximum speed, he can turn those back wheels at 130 kilometers an hour. And that's what he's doing now, eating up the track. And that is our second full pull. Real style there from the champion. And the owner, Willem Veldhuizen, who couldn't make the trip, will be well pleased with that run when he sees it. So 2 full pulls, but it's early days yet. 11 more to run. Here's the next outsider from France, driven by René Quimine. It's a Deutz 913 with 2 turbos. Oh, but fireworks under the chassis, and he stops, making a real smokescreen. 22.94 for the agricultural mechanic from Bomersnil, who looks very, very downcast. So, plenty of drama here with the super stocks. That second flagman, Soren Petersen from Denmark, waiting for the green light. And this is the Little Red and Bad Rooster from Germany. It's an international 946 with the smallest engine in competition. But they have lots of technical tricks to generate more horsepower. And that's why the bad is in the name, because it often breaks as they try new systems. Anyway, Hans-Peter Stratmann is cleared for his run. 6th in Germany last year. That was after lots of technical problems, but he's rolling well. And the Rooster comes to rest well short of 90 meters. 87.4 for Hans-Peter Stratmann. And that's Peter Domen, the mini driver of Nightmare, watching proceedings as Martin van Egtelt fires off the silver bullet from Holland. Runs on 100% ecological biodiesel. Lost a left front wheel here last year in quite a dramatic incident, but going well today and finishes with all 4 wheels intact, which the 35-year-old engine mechanic will be glad for. .8755 the distance for Silver Bullet. We turn to Finland and Christer Orn. Till this year he drove a modified called the Eagle, but now he's taken Mikko Pera's place in the Valmet team with Mega Power. It's a Valmet 8400 with 4 turbos and 1500 horsepower. Christer and Pekka Hurlevy are taking part in an exhibition pull in Madrid, so who knows, maybe we'll have a round in Spain next year. Now, is this going to be our 3rd full pull? No, he's just short of 100 meters, and that will be a big disappointment for the Finn. 95.19 for Mega Power. And Christer looking back down the track, because next to pull is teammate Pekka Hurlevy and Caesar. When he's not tractor pulling, Pekka's a truck driver up at Calvia. It's his own business, so he can take the time off he needs. Pekka and Caesar were European 4.4-ton champions in '93. What can he do? Oh, he is also short of the magic 100 meters. He's ordered new tires from the States, but there's a long delivery time. 96.65 for Caesar, who moves into 3rd place. The best of the rest who haven't made a full pull. Robert Sonen has had problems with Diester and has been rushing to get his Case International 7250 ready for this event. Comes from St Clair d'Orsay, which is close to Bernay. He's a farmer there. Right, building up turbo pressure. Easing forward on the throttle, but going nowhere fast, and obviously a few problems left to solve for Diester. Robert shakes his head. He'll not be trying again. Crowd looking at the scoreboard. 8.36 is the distance for Diester. Gesturing to the crowd, saying, sorry friends, it's not my day. Excellent crowd, around about 8,000 in the stadium tonight. Well, there's 5 more to pull, and this is Running Deer with the 30-year-old journalist Jeff Ashcroft doing the driving. This is the second of Peter Clark's tractors, which he bought from the States about 10 years ago. Jeff made 93.12 on his first run. Let's see if he can better that now. Oh, he drifts right, but corrects it. Oh, and then everything goes wrong. And he looks down and thinks, what happened there? Let's see it again. Running Deer, bucking like a bronco, and Jeff glad for his safety belt to keep him in the saddle. Part of the engine's come loose, and he's also damaged his front wheels. But Jeff says, oh well, that's life. 42.58 for his second attempt. And driving a tractor is easy when you're being towed. You just do this. Brum, 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 brum. So, still only 2 full pulls. Deer Hunter and Magkal bits and pieces. But that could change with this tractor here. Rowdy and Hans Schweiger from Germany. Blew his engine earlier in the season and did a lot of damage, but he's back now. An international 1086 that won him the European 3.4 ton championship back in '92. But he's not won any medals today. Hans Schweiger a little over 90 meters. Yes, 92.56 for Rowdy. And you can see the life of a cameraman is quite dangerous. He was glad for his bulletproof vest. Now also from Germany, this is Thomas Kaiser and Screaming Phantom, which he's just bought from Kenneth Barenko in the States, where it was called Second Mortgage. He couldn't get it started, or he'd have driven at Hassmore in round 1. It's a John Deere 4455 with 3 turbos and 1800 horsepower, all of which he'll need to make a full pull today. No, he's also short, just into the 90s for Thomas Kaiser. 93.10 for Screaming Phantom. Flagman Willem Tamming and Peter DeWitt confirming there's just 2 more to pull with 2 full pulls. Here's the next hopeful. Demolition Deer from Holland, driven by Jan Bergraaf from Loosdrecht near Hilversum. Oh, and Jan wandering all over the track with his John Deere. But this looks like it could well be close to a full pull. Oh no, you can see just short of the 100 meters, so no full pull to Demolition Deer. His sister Bep saying, oh, that was so close. Let's see the score. 94.55 for Jan Bergraaf. And one of the rain showers that was promised has materialized. So up with the umbrellas, and let's hope it's not too heavy or lasts too long. First flagman Willem Tamming taking the weight off his feet, courtesy of the last to pull in this qualifying round, Red Alert from England. Owned and driven by Peter Clark, who's also the chairman of the British Tractor Pulling Association. This is a new tractor he built up with parts from America. A Case International Magnum 7250. And by the looks of it, it's making his day. Powering his way to a full pull. That was impressive from the Englishman in only his 3rd event. So we have a 3-way pull-off, which looks like this. Deer Hunter and Magkal Bits and Pieces from Holland versus Red Alert from Great Britain. Peter Clark bought his tractor to become competitive again after JBJ lost its edge, and now the bumper crowd can look forward to a really interesting pull-off. Here's the first to pull, Karel Vermeeren and Deer Hunter. Building up the pressure before he lets go. Oh, Karel giving this his best shot. He really unleashed Deer Hunter at the start. He looks across to try and judge the distance. Looks about 80 metres. It's Karel Ibert waiting to hear from the distance scorer. He whispers it in her ear. Everyone watching the scoreboard. 82.77 for Karel Vermeeren and Deer Hunter. Now it's the turn of the defending champion, Magkal Bits and Pieces, with Leonard Griffian. He won here last year, and it's said that this track favours the John Deere. Well, we'll soon get to find out. Leonard is on his way, burning up 22 litres of alcohol. And this is a good run. Magkal Bits and Pieces is over the 90-metre mark, and this will be a tough one for Peter Clark to beat. Let's go to the scoreboard. 93.41 for the Dutchman. Looking for the best place to spot the sledge. At Hasmore, red alert, unable to come out for the pull-off when a plug in the block cracked and they started to lose water. So this is the first time they can really go head-to-head with Bits and Pieces. Firemen look hot and happy in their rubber suits as Peter Clark unleashes red alert. And he is also going well. And I'm sure he's over the 90 metre, but is it good enough? That is the question. The distance he has to beat is 93.41, so this will be close. Peter looking up to the scoreboard. 91.1, so only second place to red alert. Leonard Griffian gets a congratulatory kiss from his girlfriend. Magkal Bits and Pieces wins this one as we go to the official result. So red alert just over 2 metres down in second place, but well ahead of Deer Hunter in third. Let's see the points table. Magkal Bits and Pieces, maximum points, looking like he needs to hold on to the title. Deer Hunter is second with red alert, 2 points behind. We'll take a break, back with the minis after this. Welcome back to the Eurocup at Bernay in France, which is also famous for its light aircraft industry. The Moudry Aviation Company is the only one still making wooden and linen cloth aircraft. And they also specialise in planes for aerobatics. The owner of this one is the 1995 World and European Champion, which is a good advertisement for the company. But we must return to the stadium for the next class in the Eurocup, the 0.9-ton minis. It's just before midnight, but no one's left yet. They don't want to miss the action. And there's sure to be plenty of that. 9 contestants, 3 from Germany, 1 from Denmark, and 5 from Holland. Here's the first, Ghostbuster from Germany with Helmut Schwarz. It's the 1993 European champion. The title he won in Herning in Denmark. Oh, look at that dust. I hope he's got an oxygen supply in there. And when he shuts down and opens up his visor, he can see he's made it to the 90-metre mark. 90.16 to be precise for Ghostbuster. Next to pull is Landy from Holland with Dirk Veenstra. Just time for a quick slurp before Dirk fires off his 2 Turbo Mecha turbines. There he goes. Dirk was the 1995 Mini Puller of the Year in Holland, and I'm told he's really going well. Didn't pull in Hasmore. Let's see if he can make up for it tonight. Oh, 2-wheeling it all the way down the track. What a great run from the Flying Dutchman, and a well-deserved full pull. Dirk from Deersum has really laid down the gauntlet to the others, getting some well-deserved applause from the crowd. Now from Germany, this is Peter Doman and Nightmare. 5th in the first round at Hashmore. He was 3rd in the German Championships last year. Final adjustments to his 468 Chevy. And then the 41-year-old carpenter from Dusseldorf gets the green flag and he opens it up. Always seems to be having steering problems, but he keeps it in. And he also makes it to about the 90 meters. So no full pull to the German. 90.65 is the distance for Nightmare. This is Lambada the third from Zwolle in Holland. Made 94.9 in his first qualifying run. And Willem Dingerink will be trying to better that now. Oh, he's drifting wide, and even though he shuts down, he's still out of bounds, and so he's disqualified. So a bit of a disappointment that for Willem, who will have to be content with his first run of 94.9. This is a Rolls-Royce Meteor V12, really looking impressive in the dark. I wonder if Gompy can make an impressive run. If you're wondering what Gompy means, it's a walrus with no teeth. Well, Gompy lacking a bit of bite, and he'll finish well down the list. 84.82 for René de Bruin. Now, this is the 1994 Euro Cup holder. Joker from Germany. Only 4th in the first round in Hashmore. That's his father Manfred in the leather coat. Saying, come on, give it some stick, son. It's an RS V8 engine that he opens up. Oh, there's a white plume of smoke. It looks like he's lost a cylinder. Certainly down on power. And he also doesn't make the magic 100. So still only one full pull. 96.46 for Joker. And Landy is still in the lead. Strangely enough, there are no minis pulling in France, but the French Federation would like to see some. This is Gert Dingerink and Lambada the fourth. I can see he's ready for the next rain shower. And we're ready for the next run. Lambada 4 was 3rd at Hashmore. Oh, and he's also drifting very close to out of bounds, but he brake steers to keep himself in, and he's lost speed. But that's still very close to a full pull. No, he's just a fraction short. 99.35 for Lambada 4. But that still gives Gert 2nd place behind Landy with 2 to pull. Here's the first of them. Hunting Star from Denmark. Powered by a 14-cylinder Alvis Star motor from a Whirlwind helicopter. That's 46-year-old Carl Peterson from Skjern in the driving seat. Carl leading in the Danish Championships after 3 rounds. And he'll be hoping to hold on to that lead for the rest of the season. He was only 3rd last year. He's slowing now, and I don't think he's going to make the 90-meter mark. No, 88.01 for Hunting Star. Now the last to pull and possibly the favourite. Simply Irresistible. European champion in 94, 2nd in the Euro Cup in 95. Dirk Veenstra looks on, and Egbert Dross from Dronten hoping for a full pull and a 2-way pull-off. He's made a good start, lots of forward speed, lots of dust as well. And he is over and into a pull-off. That really was a powerful performance from the former European champion. So full pull to Simply Irresistible, and the pull-off sign won't take long to read. Landy versus Simply Irresistible. The Dutch dominating tonight's proceedings. Who would you put your money on? Well, you've got a 50% chance of being right. Dirk Veenstra looking straight down the track, thinking positively, splutters a bit at the start, but then his turbines almost lift him high in the air. They've lifted him a long way down the track, and there you can see how close he came to the 100-meter mark. 95.85 for Landy, and Dirk thinks he's done enough to win it. Well, we'll soon know. The crowd waiting in expectation. Here's the person who could stop him. Egbert Dross. He's got a Keith Black 540 engine in front of him. Wim walks casually down the track and then gives the green flag, and Simply Irresistible springs to life. Oh, Egbert seemed to shut down there just for a moment. This is not a good run. He's in trouble and he shuts off at least 20 meters short of Landy. 73.12 for Simply Irresistible. Egbert's mechanic driving back to the pits because Egbert is needed for the prize giving along with Dirk Veenstra and Gert Dingerich. So a clean sweep for Holland, and the official result looks like this, with Joker the closest of the German challengers. Now the points table, Simply Irresistible well ahead of Lambada, but maybe after this evening's success, Landy could be an outside challenger. The evening programme at Bernay finished well after 1 in the morning, and the spectators were sent home with a fine firework display. We'll leave you with a few of the big bangs, and we'll take another break, and we'll be back with Tech Corner and a 4.4 ton modified, so stay with us. Bernay is French cider and Calvados country, and where you see a sign like that, don't drive by, stop and go in. You may get a surprise. This sprightly French farmer is 76 years old, and although his son has now taken over, he's still pleased to show us around. In this small barn, there's nearly 500,000 francs of Calvados and Pommeau. And Pommeau is a mix of Calvados and cider. Mature in the casks, there's no mass production here. Your own bottle of Pommeau being drawn off to take with you. Together with lots of French hospitality. Well, we have to return to the pulling arena, where Michel Coy is waiting with Tech Corner.
Hi, I am Michel Coy. Welcome to Tech Corner. Today we're going to talk about tires. Everybody wonders why there's almost no profile or so-called lugs left on pulling tires. A standard tractor tire, the ones you see in the fields, have giant lugs to create a good grip on the soil. A pulling vehicle turns the tires 10 to 20 times faster than a stock farmer tractor does. You can imagine how fast a standard profile would dig a hole in the ground or the track with this tire speed. Therefore we cut the tires as specially designed. Every puller has his own tricks. But generally spoken, the lugs are approximately 1 centimeter high. They're also grinded flat, so each lug runs straight to the other. With this simple file, I'll show you that the lugs got to be flat as possible. Here you see that the lugs want to run straight to the other. If this piece is round, you can imagine that you won't create any grip. Almost nobody uses a tube anymore. We all run tubeless because of the weight saving. On a run, the tires create grip as much as possible, while the engine and obviously the rim says go. If we wouldn't do anything, the rim would spin in the tire and destroys it in a split second. To avoid this, we put big stainless steel screws in the rim and the tire to literally screw them together. This is the rear tire of the Green Spirit. As you see, he uses a single row of screws, but as you can see there are a lot of them in him. This is the rear tire of Desperate Dan tractor. This is a so-called double cut tire. You see, normally this line is not in between. This lug runs from here to here. And they cut an extra lug in between, a so-called double cut. This is a special design and supposed to be one of the latest trick in tire technology. And they reckon it gives you approximately 5 meters extra down the track. I am Michel Coy, this was Tech Corner.
Thanks, Michel. Day 2 then at Bernay, and the warm, sunny weather has returned, which does have its attractive advantages. The track is nearly ready, and there's another good crowd to see the final class in the Eurocup, the 4.4 ton modifieds. 10 competitors, 2 from Holland, 3 from France, 1 each from Denmark, Great Britain, Belgium, Sweden and Germany. The sledge is almost in place. And the crane driver says, wake me up if there's a pull-off. Right, the first we're going to see is from France. It's Meteor with Gilles Bougoulou, who comes from Montluçon in the centre of France. And I guess it's called Meteor because of the Rover Meteor tank engine that's powering it. Bouncing merrily along. And Meteor makes it to about 70 meters. But the scoreboard can't cope with the direct sunlight, so we'll have to flash the score up ourselves. 70.05 for Meteor. Now, next to pull. If he can get going, it's Christophe Huey with this double star motor configuration. The Nord Atlas 14-cylinder motors. This is Double Nord's maiden competition run. His brothers Pierre, Frederick and Pascal, all with their fingers crossed. There's been a lot of publicity in the local papers, so they'd like to do well today. Oh, but it's not to be. Double Nord doesn't even make 20 meters. Oil on the ground, so that is a big disappointment for Christophe in front of his local crowd. 16.01 is the distance. But maybe Ouragan the second can make amends. Ouragan means hurricane in English. It's the old Kevin Whittinger machine, Snoopy, driven today by Freddie Lawney. And he means business, doesn't he? Throttle wide open. Oh, and he flies past the 100-meter mark for a fine French full pull. The crowd at least have a French success to cheer. And Freddie says thanks for that. But he knows that the pull-off will be tough. Here's those that have qualified. 7 of the strongest and best in Europe, including the European champion Desperate Dan and reigning Eurocup holder Green Spirit IV. Very much shirt sleeve weather today with the temperatures up in the high 20s. Complete contrast to yesterday. But rain or shine, the Green Spirit supporters are always in good humour. Especially when their man is on the track, and here he is, Peter Direct. 1995 was his best ever year, winning the Eurocup and also taking the Dutch 4.4 ton title as well. This year's not gone so well for him so far. He only managed 5th in the first round at Hasmore. Let's see if his luck's going to change. Oh, wing lining blowing out like confetti. He stutters a bit. No, this is not a good one from the Dutchman. And he stops around the 70-meter mark. The scoreboard still blind. The distance 71.58 for Green Spirit IV. And you can see Peter was not happy with that one. Suitable headdress for this weather as Q8 Team Popeye backs up to the sledge. He invested in new tyres at the start of the season, and it certainly paid dividends for the Dutch dairy farmer Jan van Alphen. He's got 3 V12 Allison engines, which gives him 7,500 horsepower. Closes the back door. Oh, like the hat, lady. Jan closes his visor and opens up his Allisons. Oh, a bumpy ride, but effective. And Popeye takes the lead with this run. His distance, 89.92. There's one young lady enjoying her French roll. And she's in a generous mood. Says to her friend, go on, have a bite. She says, no, keep that thing away from me. Back to the action, and next to pull is Green Fighter from Germany. This is Enrico Volaton. Also with 3 Allisons, but a slightly different configuration. A lot more smoke and a bit of rock and roll. And Green Fighter comes to a stop 20 meters down on Popeye. His distance 69.25 meters. 5 more to pull as the man in the flying machine gives us the once-over. And he'll see Fox already in the arena. They're trying something different. They normally mount 6 engines, 3 either side. But the rules only allow them to use 5. Well, this time it's 2 either side and 1 on top. And they hope it'll be an improvement on this track. They're certainly not afraid to try something new. One for the album. Oh, Peter Larson really screws it on at the start. But this is turning into a real roller coaster ride. And Peter did well to keep control. And that was good enough to take over first place. 96.61 for Fox from Denmark. The crowd giving the applause. And the distance marker goes in. And she still hasn't finished her roll yet. On to the next to pull, which is Ouragan from France. And Carol on the mic, hoping that her boyfriend's team will come good. 2 brothers, Freddie and Christoph, run the tractor. And it's running well now, a big contrast to Fox. A much smoother ride. Oh, and it's very near the same distance. Certainly better than Popeye. And Freddie is delighted, as well he should be. 94.43 is the distance for Ouragan. And the Frenchman takes over second place behind Fox with 3 to run. Let's see how the French celebrate their second place. That's the way. And that's Carol joining in the fun. Oh, he wasn't very overcome with emotion, was he? Maybe Desperate Dan will light his fire. Brian won yesterday's 3.4 ton event, so he's going for the double. He's also leading in the Euro Cup, having won at Hasmore. Despite all his European titles, he's never won the Euro Cup, so he's making a big effort this year. Let's see how big his effort is today. A fast start. Straight down the middle. And he finds power where the others find problems. Oh, a double full pull to Desperate Dan and Brian Armistead. The others must be devastated. But Carl Carter, his mechanic, is delighted. And with a convincing pull like that, so he should be. The crowd certainly getting good value for money today. Right, there's 2 more to pull, and here's the first of them. Super Special from Sweden with Stellan Bartelsson. You're wondering how much the engines cost? These Keith Blacks cost about £12,500 each, and they're second hand. And she's seen so many tractors today, she's in a trance. And Super Special bids for glory. Can he get on the rostrum? Oh, Stellan runs out of steam around the 80-meter mark. 82.38 to be precise, and unless Terminator can do better, that will give him 5th place overall. There's the venue in Finland for the European Championships, which are on the 7th and 8th of September. So make a date, as Terminator backs into place. Last to pull in this class, only a full pull is good enough. His 2 Isotop Russian turbines building up the revs. And Steph de Hoff is ready to roll. giving it all he's got, straining with the sledge. But he grounds to a halt by the 80-metre mark. The scoreboard's still invisible in the sun. The distance for Terminator, 80.86. So here's the official result. An emphatic win for Desperate Dan, Fox taking second place for the second time in this competition. Now in the points table, Desperate Dan has a maximum 42 points with Fox close behind on 34 and Green Spirit well down the field. And there's good news for all you pulling fans. At the Eurosport headquarters in the TF1 building, which is close to the River Seine in Paris, the Eurosport program director, Daniel Batrat, and ETPC president, Jan Boutenhaus, have just signed an exclusive contract which should ensure that you'll see all the top European tractor pulling events for the next 3 years. And if you need further information about tractor pulling and the sponsorship opportunities that are available, here's where to contact. Well, that's it for this time, so enjoy your pulling, and this is Roger England saying bye for